Do I regret buying the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K? It is a cinema camera, question mark? Or is it a pocket camera? I'm not sure. I mean, that makes sense. I typically like to carry around my pocket camera just like that. Okay, so first I want to start off with why I personally bought the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K. Number one, cost. $1,295 for this right here. The second reason is the codecs. For me, being able to shoot RAW or B-RAW and also be able to shoot ProRes in a few different flavors was pretty enticing for me, because coming from renting GH5s, renting C200s, renting C100s, things like that, you're always kind of shooting in this smaller like MP4, AVC HD, pretty compressed 8-bit file. So why did I buy the 4K versus the 6K? Because they were both out when I did buy this camera. So the reason I did that for me was really probably two reasons. Number one was the cost difference, $1,295 versus like $2,400. So it's like $1,200 more. Even with the Metabones, it's still cheaper, $500 cheaper to do the Blackmagic 4K versus 6K. The other main reason was that I wanted to be able to shoot 4K RAW. That was a big thing for me. I didn't care as much to shoot 6K RAW, and I wanted to be able to shoot 4K RAW and then 4K ProRes and all that stuff. Now what I want to do is walk through this entire rig setup that I personally bought for this camera. So the next thing I want to talk about is it a cinema camera? And to do that, I found a really good quote from Jaron Present. But basically this is his quote when asked about what is a cinema camera. He says, "When we are talking about cameras and camera choices, the single most important factor is sensor response. When we talk about digital cinema cameras, to me, there's an understanding that the sensor has to yield a large dynamic range, also referred to as latitude, something in the range of 13 or more stops. The Blackmagic's Pocket Cinema Camera does have 13 plus stops, but not in every single setting. So if you're looking at this thing, it shows you the different settings that you're using and how the dynamic range is impacted by those. So what have I liked about this camera? I've loved using the B-RAW. I actually switched over to DaVinci Resolve solely for the ability to use the B-RAW without transcoding or doing anything like that. And I've really liked the image. It holds up super well in post, it grades really well. I've loved being able to easily plug in these SSDs. Man, it is awesome. So underrated to be able to go to a strong SSD. I just feel like my media is safer on the SSD, and so it gives me a little more peace of mind. I like that a lot. Okay, so that being said, what have I disliked about the camera? I've disliked the fact that to do certain things with the camera, this $1,200 camera, $1,300 camera, you've got to add on an extra $1,000 with the battery and the SSD and the quick release plate thing and the cage and the base plate and the monitor and the follow focus. And I know this rig is super clunky, and it's more for long-term like interview style stuff where you need to have it on forever, or a bigger rig on like a little short film or something like that. Like obviously this wouldn't be run and gun. You'd put this on a tripod, I think personally. But I've disliked all the extra stuff. There's so many cords. It's just, there's all this stuff hanging off. Also dislike the fact that I've had to spend more money on different storage solutions for this camera's codecs. Like I said, the ProRes and the B-RAW, they're wonderful, but they are not a pocket-sized format or codec. You're gonna run into issues if you're running on some crappy little portable hard drive. You're gonna spend money on accessories, and you're gonna spend money on either an upgraded computer or upgraded storage. Do I regret buying my Blackmagic camera? No, I do not regret buying it. I wish I would have bought just the camera and an SSD and this little quick release mount up on top, and that was it. And I would have wanted to play with it and do a little more research, get that kind of, because what I got, I'm sure you guys get this too, I got that desire like, I want to buy the new camera. but I want to get it all at once. Everything that I could ever get for it, I want it right now. Everything comes and I'm super excited. I got all these boxes and I'm setting everything up, and then I'm like, oh wait, I didn't have this. Oh, I don't have that. Oh crap, what about this? I would be much more methodical on all the extra stuff. So if you have any recommendations for videos that you want me to make, maybe you want one about computers or editing software, or how to start a photography business, or how to do video freelance and make money at it, or I want to hear your ideas. I really do. So leave a comment below, hit subscribe, and thank you guys very much.